Hey everybody, we're hanging out here today in Punta Cana. I've got the 60s all joining us later this week, and we figured we'd just take a little time with my good friend Roché and talk about Spec Kit a little further. We wanted to dive in a little more on some of the user stories. So tell me about how Spec Kit manages this.
Okay, so you have a number of prompts, not that many, but all prompts guided to help you to guide you through the planning process. And the one thing that amazed me when I worked with this, that I assumed was all baked into my workflow, were how carefully thought out these prompts are and how structured the outputs of each one of these prompts are. So, for instance, when you start with the very first prompt, the specify prompt, you get a high-level description of your project and of the features. Those are expressed as user stories, which we are all well familiar with as a specification output, and they are functional requirements.
Right. So this is these are all slash commands. You said like the specify phase. How does that play along with a lot of the tools like plan modes? Or is this adjacent to plan mode? You're actually using these slash commands instead of slash plan?
Yeah, I think you are writing artifacts,
Yeah.
so you're not really in planning mode. You are creating artifacts in your repository.
Specification
Yeah,
mode.
so, and these prompts are specifically Spec Kit prompts. So you will say /Spec Kit.specify and give a basic, give a description in plain English of the feature that you want, like add basic user management.
And then it saves those down into the file system for future sessions where you're actually telling it to implement code.
It does. It actually goes further than that, and it ensures that there's good branch hygiene in the development process. So it won't really proceed. It will automatically create a new branch for the feature, deduce a short name for the feature, switch into that branch, and create the first spec.md file for the feature.
Interesting. Does this help in any way when people get to deploy time? Is this just about features building into the software, or actually are there ways to use Spec Kit for deployment?
No, this is. I think we're very far away from deployment at this stage. In fact, there are a number of planning prompts. We don't have to go into detail with all of them, but the next step, the planning one, is probably the most important and significant one.
Okay.
The spec.plan prompt produces the most markdown files of all the prompts. That includes research.md, plan.md, an open API, contracts with the API specified and the payload of each request. It produces requirements. So it's a whole bunch of markdown files, and when you see that for the first time, you realize how much thought and design went into the prompts to help give you structure that's often missing when you do develop a specification.
Well, it sounds like it's structure that you might be missing, but also helping manage the context window and letting the LLMs guide the coding process more with intention.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the LLM is not guessing what format you want the specification in anymore. It doesn't make it up, and to a certain extent, many of the coding agents have that built in. You can see it across prompts that the outputs are very similar, but this helps. This puts the planning process in your control, and help you evolve the specific prompts that lead to the outputs that you plan your project with.
Nice, very cool. Well, we'll be talking more about Spec Kit as we go, because I'm sure as we all dive in this week during our workshops, we're going to be playing with those tools, building some cool stuff, and checking more of it out. So thanks for hanging out with me here in Punta Cana.
Thank you, Calvin, and thank you.